Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a jury has decided a man should pay with his life after committing one of the deadliest acts of anti-Semitism in U.S. history. We have more. Police say a juvenile is responsible for a shooting Tuesday night in Victoria. The charges the juvenile is facing and the victim's condition is ahead. Plus, a false alarm on Capitol Hill yesterday. The Russell Senate office building was placed on lockdown and evacuated after a report of an active shooter.
And taking a look on the outside this morning, the sun began to rise in the distance, seeing more light in the sky, and a few clouds out there, otherwise nice and clear conditions. Rain chances on the way? Yes, they are. Will they begin today? We'll find out coming up in the forecast.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Estrain.
I'm Trey Mining.
Today is the third day of August.
Already, yes, time passes.
All right, and it's National Georgia Day. Trey,
Yeah,
Georgia.
I've been to Georgia. There's
the Coca-Cola headquarters there, right?
Right, and Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King.
Let's see, go down to the coast there. You got a good fishing and seafood down there.
I always got to remind myself there's
Savannah's down
there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, Savannah, the school of the Savannah, I think, College of Art and Design, SCAD.
I believe so. I've heard of that, yes.
All right. Well, are we looking at some fair weather today, Trey? Some chances of rain, maybe?
There's a chance of rain, just not happening today. But there is a few rain showers on the radar this morning. Yes, at least that's a sign we're going in the right direction. At least I think we are. 79 degrees currently on the outside. Feel like temperature this early in the morning, 6:30, 83 degrees. And we're seeing the temperatures still rising rapidly throughout the day, well above 100 degrees for air temperature and heat index temperature. And the pressure pretty much fine, 94% humidity, almost saturated atmosphere out there. Look at that, I kind of zoomed in a little bit further than I wanted. But you see a few rain showers coming in from south of Matagorda Bay, making their way through Palacios. Or Palacios, you get the Lucky Star Award this morning because you're getting a rain shower in your neighborhood as we speak. But the rain showers won't be making their way inland too much. They get zapped by the dry air we have over the entire region in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, that is. See, they're trying to make it into about just north of Palacios, then begin to fade on out. It's like the cell's doing here in south of Seadrift. But at least we're seeing some rain chances out there and some radar echoes, which is a positive sign that the atmosphere is becoming a little bit more moist for the atmosphere to accept some rain showers around it. And looking at the temperature starting off the 80s along the coast, 70s to the north. And keep in mind the heat advisory goes into effect again at 12 noon for all the Crossroads area counties you see here. That means us here in Victoria, of course. And so drink plenty of liquid, cool water with ice is probably the best thing to do. And take frequent breaks, about 15-minute break every 15 minutes or so, and make sure everybody is staying safe and cool, and no one's getting controlled by the heat. For your full forecast, including rain chances, we'll take a look at that a little bit later on this half hour in the full forecast for you and me. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. It's now been 5 years since a Seadrift woman has been missing. Susie Escobedo was last seen leaving a convenience store in Seadrift August of 2018. Her sister Brenda says she and her family need answers on the closure on the disappearance. Susie was last seen 5 years ago, August 1st, 2018, leaving Bayside Express, a convenience store in Seadrift. She was 25 at the time of her disappearance, so now she's 30 years old. Brenda says there will be a protest at 10 a.m. August 12th at the City Hall Civic Center. That's at 501 Main Street in Seadrift. And then at 11 a.m. that same day, there will be a press conference. LULAC has gotten involved to get answers and hopefully help find Susie.
I mean, I think we've mourned already a lot and just cried over the whole situation. I think we're at that part in our life where we just need closure at this point. And if you know something, please don't hesitate to call my number. It's all over media. It's 361-649-6075. It's all over media. You can send me a voicemail, and you don't have to tell me your name. It can be anonymous, and I won't ask us any questions. Just if you feel like coming forward, if you know something, just please let me know, and that would be greatly appreciated from the bottom of our hearts.
Brenda says Seadrift is a small town, so she believes that there is someone out there that has information on what exactly happened to her sister and is pleading with the public to come forward with anything, and they can even remain anonymous. Susie's family just made a YouTube video explaining the whole situation from their firsthand perspective. It's in English and Spanish. Come to our website, crossroadstoday.com, to check it out. A jury Wednesday decided Robert Gregory Bowers, the gunman convicted of killing 11 worshipers at a Pennsylvania synagogue, should pay with his life. Jurors revealed their verdict in a federal district court in Pittsburgh yesterday. Judge Robert Colville is legally bound to enforce the panel's decision. Bowers was convicted in the 2018 mass shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh's Squirrel Hill neighborhood. 11 worshipers died, 7 others were hurt. It is one of the deadliest acts of anti-Semitism in U.S. history. A juvenile is in jail on an aggravated assault charge after shooting a man during an argument Tuesday night. Police say the juvenile is just 16 years old. Shots rang out at around 6:15 that night in the 700 block of Loma Vista Avenue. It's unclear where or how many times the victim, 24-year-old Gabriel Tomez, was shot, but he was taken to an area hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. The juvenile, however, now faces a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The death of a Shiner couple found shot to death in their home last month is now being investigated as a probable murder-suicide. That's reported by the Shiner Gazette. They say the investigation is still open because police have yet to interview the only witness to the shooting. 52-year-old Earl Haley and his wife, 45-year-old Anna Marie Haley, were found dead in their home on July 11th. The witness, one of the couple's children, was actually hiding inside the home at the time of the shooting. Shiner police say they are trying to ensure their interview with the child is not too intrusive. An 8-count indictment was handed down for an El Campo man linked to a 2021 shooting. Warren County prosecutors say 25-year-old Eric Dupree Perry Jr. is facing major jail time this morning. Perry was indicted on charges of aggravated assault and endangering a child. The El Campo Leader News says that prosecutors say Perry should get 20 years for the charges. The shooting happened on February 19th of 2021. Law enforcement sources say the Russell Senate office building was on lockdown and evacuated for a short time yesterday after police received reports of a possible active shooter. A short time after the lockdown began, police said it appeared to be a bad call, with an all-clear being given shortly after. There were no injuries and no evidence of a shooter was found. As a precaution, police not only evacuated the Russell Senate office building, but also informed everyone inside other Senate office buildings to shelter in place. The U.S. Capitol itself was not locked down due to August being a recess time for most lawmakers. They are in their home districts this week. A juvenile is in the hospital with a head injury after a crash with 4 vehicles yesterday. His condition is unknown this morning. Authorities say an SUV failed to yield the right-of-way and hit a car, and that car then crashed into another vehicle. The crash happened after 1 yesterday afternoon at the intersection of Sam Houston and East Mockingbird Lane. The Mega Millions jackpot soars to an estimated $1.25 billion after no one beat the odds in Tuesday night's drawing. No one has won Mega Millions since April 18th. The $1.25 billion prize is now one of the largest in U.S. history. Tuesday night's drawing for $1.1 billion was the 30th straight without a winner. The next drawing takes place on Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. Captain Stephen Gibson retires after serving 46 years as a ship pilot, as the longest tenured pilot in the state of Texas. And the Calhoun County ISD Board of Trustees held a meeting discussing the school budget process. Plus, the Port Lavaca City Council discussed the 2023-2024 capital improvement plan that detailed use of the city funds for the future. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:39 on your Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. While an off-duty Victoria police officer was washing his vehicle, he saw a man breaking into a coin-operated machine.
I'm ABC's Emwin in Washington. As former President Donald Trump is expected to make his first appearance here at a federal courthouse in Washington, D.C., security is tight. All the details coming up.
take a look at this graphic right quick. This is the high temperature change between normal and what is expected to be today in the next couple of days. Above normal throughout the state of Texas, Panhandle all the way down the valley, our area here, all the way to the west. When will the rain chances begin to help cool us off some? We'll take a look coming up in your forecast. And good morning, Trey Mining here. And of course, it is the hurricane season. August and September are the two prime months for hurricanes to form in the Atlantic Basin. About 3/4 of the hurricanes and storms we've seen during the normal hurricane season formed during those 2 months. So let's see what's going on out there now. Weak disturbance in the northwestern Caribbean Sea, kind of fading out the last few frames there. We'll keep our tabs on it. But high pressure ridge again to the north will probably cause this to move toward the Yucatan Peninsula and into Mexico. And watching, there it is right there, not much to it at all. A few scattered rain showers and storms along a weak low pressure area. Here's a pretty good system coming off Africa. It looks pretty organized. So far, a lot of outflow you see right here. It'll continue to move further to the east with time. And high pressure in the north will make sure this stays on the westerly pattern. So we'll have to keep tabs on that. But it's still a long ways from the Caribbean Sea and the United States. We have a long time to look at it. So don't get too overly concerned. A few showers north of the Bermuda area along our old frontal boundary. So nothing much in the tropics to talk about. We'll keep watching though. Of course, we're in a very dry situation here, dry conditions all the way down to the areas near Victoria to the south. Will be about dry to exceptional drought around here, the coastal zones, and a big drought there in the hill country. Need rain out there pretty badly, desperately. Rain chance for us will be going up a little bit. We'll take a look at that coming up in the full forecast. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. Now to the unprecedented scene out of Washington. Former President Donald Trump is set to make his first appearance today in a Washington federal courtroom on charges of plotting to overturn his 2020 election defeat. Security is being ramped up around the area for today's hearing.
This morning, around the federal courthouse in Washington, metal barricades going up, all in preparation for Donald Trump's first court appearance here. The former president facing new criminal charges that he tried to overturn the 2020 election results, even though he knew he lost.
Since the attack on our Capitol, the Department of Justice has remained committed to ensuring accountability for those criminally responsible for what happened that day.
Outside the court today, expected road closures and heightened law enforcement presence. The Secret Service working with Metropolitan Police, U.S. Marshals Service, Capitol Police, and other agencies, telling ABC News they're confident they can ensure the highest level of safety and security for the former president.
He's going to be processed. He's going to be advised of the charges against him. He's going to enter a plea of not guilty.
Trump facing 4 new felony charges, including conspiracy to defraud the United States and conspiracy against rights. The indictment handed down Tuesday accuses Trump of pressuring his former Vice President Mike Pence to reject legitimate electoral votes on January 6th. Trump's attorney on CNN arguing his client's request wasn't criminal.
And the final ask that Mr. Trump made to Vice President Pence was simply pause the voting.
Pence firing back.
It wasn't just that they asked for a pause. The president specifically asked me, and his gaggle of crackpot lawyers asked me to literally reject votes.
Obama-appointed Judge Tanya Chutkan will preside over this case. She has handed down some of the toughest sentences so far to January 6 rioters. The former president again slamming this case as election interference.
Trump had the option to attend today's arraignment virtually, but will appear in person and be digitally fingerprinted. A mugshot is not expected to be taken. Em Nguyen, ABC News, outside the courthouse.
That leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code to take part. We want to know, which indictment do you think Trump should be punished for? Let's take a look. 80% of you say election fraud, 15% of you say classified documents, and now 5% of you say hush money. We want to keep hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote. While an off-duty Victoria police officer was washing his vehicle at a local car wash Tuesday night, he saw a man breaking into a coin-operated machine. The man, identified as 22-year-old John Canales, he's arrested on charges of burglary of a coin-operated machine and unlawful use of a criminal instrument. Hallettsville police arrested 38-year-old Odell Pierre Johnson of Hallettsville for trespassing in the 200 block of Kessler Street Tuesday night. Johnson physically resisted arrest and bit one of the police officers on his left wrist. Johnson faces charges of assault on a police officer, criminal trespassing, and resisting arrest. Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Queer Record. DeWitt County sex offender Alberto Gutierrez sentenced to life in prison, and Cuero's Jacob Baker named as first team relief pitcher for Class 4A All-State team. Plus, the Cuero Library holds an end of summer bash. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com. The time is now 6:46 on your Thursday morning. Still to come, about 300 hospitals have shut down their childbirth units in the past 5 years. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Eric. Happy birthday to our son Eric from Mom and Dad and the family.
And it's also happy birthday to Carmen. Happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Carmen. I pray God blesses you with many more. Can't wait to celebrate with you this weekend. Mi amore, love you, Tacho.
I love that you make it Italian, Trey.
There you go.
And happy birthday, Mr. President. The West Wing and Grace and Frankie star Martin Sheen is 83 today.
All right, to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on More under Home. You'll see the KVU. Submit your birthday.
The time is now 6:47 on your Thursday morning. Happy birthday to Miss Lydia, and happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good morning. It's 10 minutes away from 7 a.m. and the heat index value temperature is definitely going to be the main weather story today. Already starting off, I feel like temperatures near 90 degrees from Victoria southward, and we jump up to about 103 or 4, about 4 or 5 or 6, coming up about 11 a.m. this morning, just before lunchtime. After lunch, it really takes off even more so. 108 to 109 heat index value as we work toward the afternoon time. So because of those heat index values like that, we have a heat advisory going into effect at 12 noon this afternoon until 7 p.m. That means very dangerous conditions out there. Do not get overheated. Do not spend too much time outside in the heat during the day. Wait till about 7 o'clock or so in the evening to do any outdoor plans. 100 degrees today in Victoria. Mostly sunny skies, very hot temperatures. No doubt about it. Try your best to stay cool. Drink some ice water and relax. 80 degrees overnight. Mostly clear skies and humid. For your day tomorrow, keeping the temperatures once again near 100 degrees. Mostly sunny skies and hot. Southeast winds near 15 miles per hour. Extended forecast for us. High temperatures near 100 degrees. Lows near 80 degrees. Sunny skies. Some rain chances coming in by next week. Certainly looking forward to that.
About 300 hospitals have shut down their childbirth units in the past 5 years. New analysis from the March of Dimes shows about 1 in 10 women who gave birth last year lived more than 30 minutes from a birthing hospital. The report indicates more than a third of U.S. counties are in what they call maternity care deserts. The problem affects rural areas the most. 8 counties in Texas have that designation. The organization says demand for care in Texas has increased since abortion restrictions took effect. The March of Dimes analysis shows 2 area counties, Goliad and Refugio, are considered maternity care deserts. In the study, Calhoun, Jackson, Matagorda, and Wharton counties are considered to have low access for maternity care. Mortgage rates rose Wednesday following Fitch's historic downgrade of U.S. debt. On Wednesday, the yield on 10-year treasuries climbed as high as it had been since November, and the fixed rate for a 30-year mortgage usually follows the yield on a 10-year treasury note. A chief economist says the rise is a direct result of Fitch Ratings downgrading the country's debt rating from the highest AAA to AA+. The rating company cited a, quote, steady deterioration in standards of governance as the reason for Tuesday's devaluing. The economist says without the downgrade, mortgage rates would have moved lower toward the end of the year as inflation continues to cool. Still to come on Sunrise News to know before you go. A 13-year-old wanted for a fatal shooting in New Mexico. A 13-year-old suspect wanted for a fatal shooting in New Mexico has turned himself into authorities. Police say the 13-year-old boy shot and killed a woman on Monday after she approached the group of teens accusing them of stealing her car. The teen ran off shortly after the shooting, 3 of them arrested, and they told officers a 4th suspect had fired the gun. They searched for the suspect shortly after. That suspect eventually turned himself into police and is now in a juvenile detention center facing charges for murder. Fulton County has reached a settlement in the death of an inmate who died in custody in September. County commissioners voted 6-0 on Wednesday to approve the $4 million settlement. 35-year-old LaShawn Thompson died last September in the Fulton County Jail psychiatric wing due to diagnosed mental health issues. A private autopsy reports he was covered in sores and bites from bed bugs and lice. Family attorney Michael Harper said the private autopsy results showed that Thompson died from severe neglect. The pharmaceutical company behind the birth control pill Tydemi is recalling 2 batches of the drug due to the risk of reduced effectiveness. Lupin made the announcement Saturday after tests showed the pills had decreased levels of ascorbic acid, an inactive ingredient, and high levels of a known impurity. The Food and Drug Administration similarly warned consumers on Tuesday that the low levels of ascorbic acid, better known as vitamin C, could reduce the pill's effectiveness in preventing pregnancy. However, Lupin and the FDA say they have not received any reports of adverse events related to use of the pills. The affected batches were distributed between June 3, 2022 and May 31st of this year and have expiration dates of January or September 2024. Summer is coming to a close as Crossroads students head back to school in the next week. Leaders urge everyone to pack their patience while driving. Parking and leaving will be cumbersome with the new students, new schedules and excess cars and buses on the road. Leaving early, allowing for more time, and driving on the slower side can hopefully prevent any unforeseen issues for the first couple weeks of school.
Instead, most people will get into the routine of dropping off, when to pick up, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, usually the first week, and that's, as far as pretty typical. And of course, here and anywhere else, it's a lot of trying to figure out where to go, what to do, and all that.
Safety is always the biggest concern, and a great way to contribute to that is to stop when school buses are loading and unloading students. For many students in our area, school starts August 9th. The Telemundo Victoria and the Crossroads Today want to help you get ready. Come out to Toyota of Victoria this Saturday, August 5th for our Back to School backpack giveaway. Crossroads Today will hand out free backpacks courtesy of Telemundo Victoria to children. Come by from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. while supplies last. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And let's get a last look at our forecast with Trey.
All right, thank you so much, Carolina. Temperatures today starting off in the 80s and 90s. They feel like temperature currently on the outside, rising to well above 100 before we hit the lunchtime hour, and 105 to 106 to 107 coming up by the afternoon hours, coming up about noon to about 6-7 p.m. Be careful out there. Heat advisory goes into effect at 12 noon throughout the entire Crossroads region, every county, including in the heat advisory today. So please be safe out there and reduce your outdoor activities if you can during the afternoon hours. 100 degrees today in Victoria. Mostly sunny skies, very hot with a little bit of a breeze, not really cooling us down too much. Overnight lows in the 80-degree range, mostly clear and humid. And highs tomorrow, again, near 100 degrees, triple-digit heat index value. And seeing some rain chances, although small rain chances. Rain chances nonetheless starting over the weekend and into Tuesday and Wednesday, 20% chances. So at least we're trending in the right direction, starting to get some rain around here. In the meantime, it's hot, and make it a great day and stay safe. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Thursday. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Join us for 25 News Now, 6 and 10.